Small Business Supply Co. is the hub for small business owners to connect and support one another while also being a one-stop shop for their small business supplies. They love the phrase community over competition, just like we do on the podcast, so they wanted to create a space to reflect that. Aside from their supportive small business community, they also have matching poly mailers, thank you cards, washi tape, stickers, envelopes, custom business cards, and more. Their designs are unique to them, and everything is created with an eco-friendly mindset. Yay! They also have a QR code in each package that will pull up their recycling page, giving you instructions on how to properly dispose of each item you receive.
Each item was created with a small business owner in mind, meaning they sell in low, affordable quantities to maximize your profit margins. We all know the struggle of carrying armfuls of packages into the post office, but that is no more. They also sell giant tote bags perfect for carrying your packages in, which means less trips to the car for you. Are you intrigued yet? Head over to their Instagram and TikTok at Small Business Supply Co., spelled Small Business SPLY Co., to shop all of their amazing products and follow their journey. Their business is truly a small business owner's dream.
Cora B Gallery has been making a name for herself in the South for her colorful and iconic portraits. Her pieces are all designed to not only show off the subject of the painting, but to also bring a beautiful and exciting piece of artwork into your home. Her new portrait series, Icons and Idols, showcases some of the most memorable faces in music. Each original portrait is hand-painted and designed to showcase their most iconic music and images. These paintings have the most famous faces in music, depicting everyone from Louis Armstrong and the Beatles to Billie Eilish and Beyoncé. All of her portraits are also available in 8x8-inch art prints that make the perfect gift for the music lover in your life this Christmas. Use our code CYA15 at corabgallery.com for 15% off your first order. Again, that is code CYA15 at corabgallery.com for 15% off your first order. Hey guys, I'm Katie.
And I'm Alexis, and this is the Check Your Aesthetic podcast. Hello, Katie.
Hello. We just had an amazing interview for this episode, but we chatted a lot. So the information that we have for you guys right now is that don't get too excited. Don't get too excited, but we're not going to blab at you today.
We are not going to subject you to that.
We're not going to. And you know what? We just recorded yesterday and you guys already know everything that's going on with us. And I have nothing interesting to share with you guys. But I will go ahead and intro our amazing guest. So today we had Cora from Cora B Gallery on the podcast. She is a studio artist. She paints portraits of celebrities and people that inspire her. So, some of them are like, pop stars. Some of them are or pop stars and musicians. Is that the same thing? I don't know.
I guess
she has some like religious symbols or people and
royal people.
Yeah, she has royals. She has my dog. She does not have my dog, but my dog is flipping out. Down. Oh
geez.
She just unplugged my phone. My computer. She's been flipping out this whole time. But yeah, so she has all kinds of people that inspire her, which is really awesome. And you'll hear her talk more kind of about how she landed on that style. But this is our first, I think, physical artist or painter that we've had on the podcast. Yes. So it's super exciting. And to be completely honest, this might be the shortest intro we've ever had. Alexis, I don't know if you have anything to add, but I think we can just hop on in.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's get into it. Hey, Cora, we're so excited to have you on.
Hi.
I feel like this has been a long time coming. I am not sure if I said this in the intro because we haven't recorded it yet, but Cora is a friend of mine from home. So that's how we met. She went to a different high school than me, but we had a lot of mutual friends. But yeah, I guess to get us started, Cora, do you want to just tell us about you, your business, how you started it, all that good stuff?
Hi. So yeah, I'm Cora from Cora B Gallery. I'm a studio artist, I guess you would say, painter from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So I went to not the same high school as Katie, but like she said, we had like mutual friends. And I do portraits. That's pretty much 90% of what I paint for my collections. And I do like portraits that are inspired by people who I find inspiring, or just like stories and different types of things. And I use imagery that, like, usually a lot of natural stuff or a lot of really graphic stuff with like a lot of designs and like applique elements to create my paintings. And so it gives me a lot of information. Like every painting I do has a lot of stories behind why it looks the way it does and what colors I chose and what designs I chose. So it lets me have a lot of creativity in my artwork.
Yeah. I love that. I love all of your work. And if y'all are watching on YouTube, you can see behind Cora. It's all hung up. Looks awesome. But yeah, so I think that's something interesting. We've never really had like a studio artist or like a kind of a physical artist on the podcast. So I feel like something that's really important with that more than digital art is like establishing yourself locally. So how did you go about establishing your business locally / like, what do you think is the importance of that?
Yeah, that's definitely a very different thing, because I actually, when I started, I was just kind of doing art of anything. I've done art since I was little. And so when I first started selling my artwork, I was selling digital things like photographs of artwork that I had done, making it into cards or prints, kind of just anything. And when I decided to take my business more seriously, I decided to really drop most of the digital part of my art, because I really decided to focus in on what I was the best at and what I could do that no one else could. And the things that really made my talent shine is kind of how I describe it. Like, I was doing a good job at doing digital stuff, but, not that you have to, compare yourself to others, but when you're deciding what you want to make your signature item or design style or anything, you kind of have to decide what you do that makes you special. And I had done a portrait of Mother Teresa that I just had decided was like the best thing I had ever done. And I had always liked drawing faces, but could never figure out a way that would be like a marketable product of like faces, because that's not usually something you want in your room or in your house. So I couldn't figure out like random faces, how that would work. And so when I decided to take my business a lot more professionally, that was kind of where I landed with creating these like iconic figures kind of things or stories behind the faces. And which is really fun for me. And it kind of keeps me from having a blank page of, I have no idea what I'll do. I get really inspired by a certain idea or plan, I guess I would say. Which hones me in on like what I'm going to paint. But I still do. I mean, I have my iPad. I use Procreate, almost every day to create my sketches or to mock up like concept boards for clients. So it's still, you can't just do one thing kind of thing, like even as like a digital artist, you're going to want to create something physical and paintings and prints. And even if you're like a physical painter, you still need like all those, project-based things like Photoshop and Procreate and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
How long do you think it took you to find like your specific style? Since you obviously you have the consistency of kind of topic, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But how long did it take you, and what was that process like?
I've been doing art ever since I was little, and really what made me want to focus on like one or two things, or like one idea of a like style cohesively, was I worked in an art gallery in college. I had an internship, and what they try to hone you in even smaller. When you're an artist who's represented by a gallery, they want almost the same color palette each time, the same imagery,
the same thing all the time.
Right. Like if there was a painting like the one behind your head with the colors, they would want the same colors, just different sizes, even like different, same design. Maybe instead of the pink, switch out for yellow for a certain client's home. Like that's the style of being a gallery represented artist. And that would make me miserable. I really like doing different things every time. So I was like, I really want to be able to do something different every time, but I also like that like really repetitive in nature. And I really like focusing on what I really want to do. And so I kind of sat down one day, because it was actually really like serendipitous. My boyfriend's older sister wanted to get into brand photography, and she asked me if I'd be her guinea pig, and I had no idea that she was offering like this $600 plus thing to me for free. And when she explained kind of what it was, I was like, oh, that sounds good. So should I print out some of my prints, like some digital stuff, some pictures, some like drawings I've done? And she was like, well, usually no, like you kind of just pick a few things. And I was like, yeah, I think it's time I really like pick a thing I'm good at. And so that was like my first collection I did. And the whole first set of pictures was because of that. So those two things kind of came together with my experience working in the gallery. And when she offered this like huge package to me for free, I was like, I really think it's time, if I want to do this seriously and see if I can make this work as a career, I figure out exactly what I'm best at. And faces have always like been my favorite thing to do, just like details, eyes, smiles, like everything like that. Anytime I could choose something to paint in high school or even when I was younger, it was like getting a face down right, you know? And then I really like doing flowers and trying different things and different designs. So I love that each time I get to do something, I might do something completely different. Like the outfits on the Sgt. Peppers have their own colors, like everything's different each time. I have a million bottles of paint in my house, a million different like appliques to decide on. I mean, the whole Stevie Nicks is like tiny little tattoo drawings that I did with like pen and ink on top of the paint. Like and especially I do a lot of flowers because people love flowers. So it's really exciting to be able to do something, bring something different to each painting, while still finding what I'm best at.
And I feel like from like when you have more of like an art background, it's almost harder to find like your style and your medium because then you're exposed to so many different styles and
that's
mediums.
the beauty of doing any sorts of art class in high school and college, is they want you to try different things. All like different one project I did in college was just same item, different design, like 15 ways to draw whatever, your shoe, you know? And so it's really exciting. It's a fun way to like branch out. That was one of the reasons I found like I found that when I did that in high school, like pen and ink was like my favorite thing to do, those crisp like black lines on white paper. So that's definitely still one of my favorite things to do, is those finishing like black lines is like what makes the paintings always like sing, like they just look so much better. So I bring that in, but that's definitely not the only. I love using color and putting things together. So I like that combination a lot.
Definitely.
Okay, this is kind of changing the combo a little bit, but I think one of the things that I associate you most with, especially being from Baton Rouge and not like knowing you in person and stuff, is you do so many like markets, like, you know, whether like it's smaller pop-ups or like really big markets, and I think that's something that like intimidates people a lot, but kind of, I guess, what has been the process of, you know, establishing yourself in Baton Rouge and getting asked to be in those markets or putting yourself out there? Kind of like, what's your experience taking your art and in person and selling it to people?
It's stressful at first, I would say, before you know what you're really doing. So I actually first applied not really understanding to like one of the biggest markets in Baton Rouge and got denied. And I was so offended because I was like, my paintings are good, but it's not about just the like quality of your work. They want to have someone who has a sense of like professionalism and knows how to do a setup. Established, has a whole set of things. And so when I first applied and I didn't get it, I wasn't super disheartened, but I was confused because I thought I was good enough to get in. And then I did a few smaller markets. I did one literally the weekend before COVID hit. Like that was the, like I did two before COVID hit. And one of them was like the Monday before we got sent home from school. And I did those, and I had done one in the fall at my mom's school. Actually, they had asked if any of the teachers wanted to do one, like set up for this market they wanted to do. And I said, my mom asked me, and I was like, I'll do it. And we didn't really know what we were doing. We bought like thousands of plastic sleeves of random sizes that I'll never use, like 6.5 by 6.5 sleeves. Like there's no card that size. And we just didn't know, but we were so excited. And at that time I had like a few paintings and mini cards. Like I didn't even know what I had. I had like random things. It was everything from like digital butterflies to the sketch I used to make my like Dolly Parton painting now was in there as like a full design, to this painting of a bee I had done for my sister and I made into tiny cards. It was random, like no consistency, not a bit. And then over the pandemic was when I was able to do my whole series of doing the faces. And once I did that and did a practice setup and photographed it, I was able to prove to like these different markets that I had a consistent series of stuff. I had like a sense of professionalism. I knew what I would be able to handle.
Yeah.
And that really made all the difference, was just focusing on setting up yourself and projecting the image of like a professional, no matter what you are. We always say like fake it till you make it. Like, you know, like I always tell my mom that I'm like, you got to make it look like something really impressive. Like I got asked to interview for my school paper, like LSU, and I was so excited. And then I did the interview and they had interviewed 15 artists, like just like literally I had a sentence.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm still posting about it. And I posted the sentence, like the one they put of me on my Instagram. And I got like, and I don't have like a huge amount of followers. I have under 3,000 followers and I got like 200 likes. People were like, my grandparents called me and I was like, this is really fake. Like, but it, you know, I was still proud I got asked, but I thought it was an interview all about me. Like I thought it was a paper about me. They'd asked me to send in pictures. I was so I thought it was all me. And it was like an hour-long interview. I was like, why'd you get one sentence?
Well, that kind of makes it seem like I don't think that was your fault.
I know. I think I was gaslighted.
I was about to say the gaslight.
I was really like, I got dressed up like this for it. Like I was going to be photographed in it. And the girl was like, you know, that TikTok of the lady who does the Zoom, boomer boss in my car, and she's like professional on the Zoom and the boss is like eating in the car and she's like, sorry, I have to pick up my chinchilla from gymnastics. That was it. The girl was like, sorry, I'm in my car. I'm running late. And she was like on the phone and I was on Zoom sitting up straight because I was like, I don't know if she's taking a screenshot of me. And she was like driving.
She's probably
like, this is I was like, I'm so confused. You asked me if I had any pictures.
Yeah.
So, you know, kind of doing that. Like if you kind of have to project the sense of professionalism you want to show people in your brand. And like, especially for like a lot of y'all's listeners are like me, they're getting out there and they're like trying new things. Like every month or few months, they're doing something completely different with their business. And you kind of almost have to pretend and try not to feel like you're pretending, you know? Like I was talking to like a real estate agent today about opening a place. And I was like, I'll tell you, but don't tell the other real estate agent. I have no idea what I'm talking about. You know, like
keep that between us.
Everything that you do right now is like a new endeavor. And so you kind of have to present like, you know, exactly what you're doing. And that was one of the big things I found with like establishing myself locally. And also like, people want to buy from the person behind the picture. I think we've all found that in our business. It's really exhausting to run an Instagram for your art because people constantly want to see new and they kind of don't even notice it's new after a certain point. Like I will have been waiting to post like the picture of Billie Eilish. I was waiting to post it. I was like, I'm going to wait till her album drops. I posted it that day. I'm like, people are going to freak out. And it kind of like goes unnoticed a lot because they expect new all the time. I know both of y'all found that with like creating designs. Like
it'll wear you out.
Our followers are like expecting to see new things all the time.
And they are from some people. And it's just like, you can't keep up. Yeah. And especially like you, I mean, you're painting, like, I don't know if you have like a certain amount of time that you would say they take you usually, but like, it's not a 2-hour operation. It's not a 15-minute
something like
situation.
I can wake up and figure out, you know, to paint something. It usually like if I sit down and do one, I could finish one painting in an entire day if I sat down that morning. Started,
just didn't.
Yeah, already had an
still
idea.
Not, you know,
like you already knew exactly
like I
what
already
you were
came up with the idea, but that's really just not how it works. And so now, like with social media being the way it is, like stuff is so in and out of our screens so fast that the expectation is always to be seeing something new, and that's just not sustainable for artists.
And then like the people that are taking in that content don't even like appreciate it really. They're just more like, I need something new. All right, I'm gonna look at it. All right, bye.
And your followers like love you, but I mean one of the biggest things is like people buy from artists because they care about the message and the values a lot behind the brand. They like people
Mhm.
showing them genuinely. I think that's something that our generation is a lot better than like people who are 30 plus on Instagram. They think that their work should speak for itself. And people
Yes.
our age know that people want to see you with the work. They want to see
Absolutely.
you going out and
Right.
doing something new. I mean, I posted pictures. I thought it would just be fun that I posted pictures at the National Portrait Gallery as like a fun thing when I went to DC in May on my art Instagram. And people got a huge kick out of it. Just like
Yeah.
that I was traveling and I was looking at art while traveling, because obviously that would be something I'd want to do in DC.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And like people really like to see the life and the lifestyle, and that's
Yeah.
what obviously
And
like
the
makes
behind
a
the
lot.
scenes as well.
Right. People really care about the behind the scenes, seeing the process, seeing the lifestyle behind the artist. And that
Mhm.
also like goes into, I know both of y'all have started doing a little bit more of influencer artist, influencer designer with like the lines y'all are putting out. And
Mhm.
that's definitely where I am too, of like,
Yeah.
I have to get over that because I think I am not that person, but people really
It's
want
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hard.
I know. And I love the idea of it, but I just, it's hard to put yourself out there every day when you know you might be embarrassing yourself.
Yeah.
But that's really what people actually care about. And you can't always post a picture of yourself because then they'd get bored of that too.
Exactly.
But like planning things like branding, photo shoots, and
Mhm.
having someone else take that picture of you that shows off how proud you are of your work makes the biggest difference in the world about
Yeah.
Yeah.
people engaging with your work.
And taking it seriously as
Yeah,
well.
for sure.
Right. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure y'all know, it's hard when you don't have those pictures of yourself with your work, especially for like
Mhm.
digital stuff. It's not
Yeah, it's so
easy
hard
to do.
Yeah. And I think something that I've struggled with at like pop-ups and stuff, and that a lot of people struggle with, is like you get in person and like being able to like, or not even being able to, but kind of
Yes.
having to like talk about your art. So do you have any like tips surrounding that? I know people can be like insecure or like not really know. Like my first pop-up, somebody came up to me and they were like, "Who are you?" I was like, "What? I don't know." Like it was like
Right.
just,
That happens
just
to me
stressful.
all the time.
Yeah.
So one of the things I actually do is I like usually will hire someone to work the register.
Mhm.
Um, and whether that be like I'll pay a friend to do it, or
Mhm.
a girl who's in the high school I went to, like someone younger, because
Yeah.
honestly usually I've got to find someone who will be free on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I'll have them work the register so I can stand outside of it, because most of my big pop-ups are 10 by 10 tents.
Mhm.
And so I'll be able to walk around and talk to people, because engaging in your like local community is so important, because there's people there who already care about you and want to share your work and want to
Yeah.
show you off on social media.
Mhm.
And when I'm able to actually like talk to people and talk about my work and engage with them, I have so many better sales. And it's not even just that I'm not frazzled from trying to check out. It's that people want to like engage directly with you and hear about your work. They want to hear like, why'd I pick a yellow background for the Beatles? Like that's the
Yeah.
kind of stories people like hearing about the work
Mhm.
they buy. Because if not, they would just, download something from Pinterest and print it and not
Right.
care if they paid for it.
Absolutely.
If they are going out to one of these markets, there's someone who wants to like engage with their community and be part of like the experience of buying the art, not
Right.
just Venmoing you, walking away. And
Right.
that's hard to
And
get
it's just
over.
transactional.
Yeah.
Right. You have to make it
Yeah.
less transactional and almost like take the money part out of it. You have to
Totally.
talk to them about
Well, that's
like,
also just
what
like
they're interested
marketing.
in.
Like
Right. And
it's
like
really
that's
just
what you
kind of
want.
selling like almost the experience instead of just the product.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
You want to have like, I like a lot more of like an experiential, like value-based like marketing of like being interested. Like at markets, I remember one time I like stopped, this lady was looking at the prints and I just like, I was asking her what she was buying them for. And she told me she had a 6-week baby girl at home who they had named, I think it was something, it was Elizabeth. And I was like, oh, little queen. Like, I thought that was funny, like little queen. And she was like, we named her after the queen. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute. And she was like saying that she wanted to do 4 prints, but she didn't know which 4. And I was like, well, actually, I have 4 royals. What about if we did this? And like, I pulled them out physically and pulled out Marie Antoinette, Queen Elizabeth, Princess Diana, and Cleopatra, and seeing them all together And she was like, oh my gosh, I'll take all 4. I was just going to get the Queen Elizabeth. And the Queen Elizabeth was actually one I don't even put out at shows because it's not super popular, honestly.
Yeah.
Like it's something I wanted to make, so I made it. And the Cleopatra, really. So, so the other 2 are like Princess Diana. Yeah, she's a top seller. Every single market, someone needs it. But like engaging with the people and asking them why they're creating it and like talking to them. They also love the idea that an artist helped them set it up. Like people will come up to me all the time and say, I'm going to get 6. Which 6? Like just, and I'm like, there's so many options actually. I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about like what you like. And I'll ask them like, what was your dad's favorite artist? Like, you know, a lot of people like to pick something that like they have like a story connection to, which is really fun. So that always makes me happy.
I feel like that's such a good point, is that like when you're talking to somebody in a genuine way, like when you're interacting with your customers at your pop-up in a genuine way, it gives you that sales opportunity that you wouldn't have had if you hadn't been interacting with them.
Right. Oh, the pop-ups have been my number one like genuine marketing tool. Like doing giveaways always will boost me a few followers. But honestly, like just not as many because there's so many giveaways. It's a really saturated thing online all the time. I'm sure both of y'all know, like me and Katie did a giveaway together once and we both were like, that was fine.
Could have been better. Yeah.
We were like, oh, that's cool. I did one recently where I gave away an original painting and I was like, I got 70 new followers. That's that's not bad. Like, are all these people genuinely interested in my work? I gave away an original painting.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
70 new, like it's, you know, and so when I go to these markets, a big thing, people who go there know you want them to show off your work. I have like the bags with my name on it and the big pink ribbon. People see that. And then a lot of them will just that night, they'll post it on Instagram, post even that they got like 2 stickers, $8, and I'll get like 3 people who follow me after they make that post.
And those are people that are in the community. Like those are people that live in Baton Rouge too. So then that's people who next time you're at a pop-up are going to be like, oh, I saw her on Instagram. I want to go see her. Like it's all like, and like, I don't know.
Also just like having that like commonality of like locality. I think like, like I
especially
follow,
like the Louis Armstrong
accounts that I would never follow normally. Like I don't really care about some of these, like objectively, I don't care about the product, but like I follow them because they're from Vermont. So
right. Like I have a Louis Armstrong painting that is one of my personal favorites, but it constantly sells out. Like every time, every few months, like whereas I've probably never ordered a second set of like, I'm trying to think who's like just like the Coco Chanel is beautiful. I love what I did there. When I ordered my first set of prints, I probably will wait like another year before I have to order more because I get like 1 or 2 a market. I consistently have to order hundreds of the Louis Armstrongs at a time because people buy it for their out-of-state family who is from Louisiana but moved,
or they're
people buy it. Right. They're a tourist and they love Louis Armstrong and they've always wanted to come here. And so that one is constantly like always selling out consistently. I made mugs actually that are coming in for Christmas. I'll pull it out. Cute. It's right on my desk.
Oh my gosh.
They haven't been released anywhere. Actually, I haven't even photographed them. The mugs I made for Christmas. And
that's
so it's weird, but what a wonderful world. And it's got kind of like an Art Deco font like up there.
I love that.
It's got the black inside. It comes with it'll be a ribbon around it. But I ordered the Dolly Parton and the Louis Armstrong are always my top sellers. Yeah. But so I ordered those in mugs for Christmas. And I already have anyone who's come over to the studio is like, I'm buying 10. Like I want to get 10 and give them to all my family members.
Well, that's it's something else. Yeah, Christmas gift.
Oh yeah.
Think about
well,
that.
And it's
Christmas is coming so fast.
Yeah,
the markets for
God,
Christmas are insane. Like every market I do for Christmas, someone comes up to me and they're like, what does my mom want? And I'm like,
no, I know.
Who's your mom?
But it's such an easy, like
I don't know
personalized like kind of gift because you're not like for like with all of your work, you're not paying like unless you're commissioning something, you have so many options that like it's not like somebody's paying you, you know, a commission price, but they're still getting something that's personalized to the person that they love because like, oh, you got me like a Billie, you know, Billie Eilish is my favorite. Like it's personalized, but it's not, you know, so I think that's a really, really powerful take that
made, but and I know you and I have talked about like you don't do a lot of like commissions of just like paint my mom, but you found a way
I
to
try to stay very small on them.
Yeah, and you found a way
good.
to still make it personal, which I think is a really, really smart move, where you're not making it so personal that like one person wants to buy it, but you're still making it personal
Right.
enough. So
And my new
really
series
great.
that's coming out this fall, my goal with it was like, I'm a very like female centered person. I'm very feminine. I went to an all girls school. Like that's always going to be a part of me. And I paint more girls than boys because honestly, more fun. Gotta be honest.
It is.
So my new series that I'm coming out with this fall, I made like a really concerted effort to bring in different age groups, different types of clients.
Diverse.
Like I'm gonna have everyone from like Elvis to Johnny Cash, like, you know, I need something for my grandpa, I need something for my friend, just a much
really
more
smart.
Right. Like I wanted a very different
diversifying
group.
your market.
Yeah.
Right. And even if I know it might not be like the top seller, I wanted to show off the values that I have about people that I admire. So like I have Selena. I know I love Selena, not Gomez, you know, the original Selena. Yeah. And like one of my best friends loves Selena. And I'm like, okay, is it going to sell the first night? Probably not. But is it important to me that I show off that I love that this like Latina artist was able to become like a pop sensation in America? Like that's kind of why I chose to do this series now and show off like different parts of my work. And that's also been a crazy thing because I'm very used to markets, but I'm doing my own show for the first time.
Oh my gosh.
And
wow.
I am nervous. I had my meeting actually this morning to finalize the location for it. And so that's another thing that really has helped my business is like now with how much is on social media, I had done 3 releases where the release was I'm releasing the pieces online on Instagram and they're going to be up on my website. And the pictures kind of come and go. And I use one of me because I know I use a picture that I'm in because I know those are more popular. I'll get maybe like double the likes I usually get, triple or quadruple. And the sales felt like they were still just kind of normal. Like the paintings I usually like the day of would get like 3 paintings sold, but I never would like sell all of them. And I would get like a few print sales, but sometimes I wouldn't release the prints till days later.
Yeah.
So this time I decided, and you know, now that COVID is relaxing, fingers crossed. Yeah. I decided for my next series, I really wanted to do an event, like a thing that people would go to, make a night out of it, invite your friends or a date night. So it's going to be on Black Friday, which is like the biggest shopping day. I'm going to have my prints at a special price for just one night. I'm possibly going to invite some other vendors who want to sell that night in the location. I have a location that's owned by another like young female entrepreneur who's from Baton Rouge. Her name is Madeline Schmidt, and she went to high school with me, and she's opening a place nearby. And it's very feminine, the whole place. We're going to paint one of the walls pink on Saturday. I told her I would help her get it all set up because I was like, I want it here. And she was like, I want you to do it here. And I was like, are you ready? And she was like, no, I am not ready. So we're having this huge event and I'm going to have like over 20 pieces available. So I put a lot of,
I'm so excited. I didn't know you were doing that.
Yes, it's over. Well, I was going to invite you. I'm working on invitations right now for people.
Oh my God.
Like for, I guess you would say like exclusive invitees. I'm going to have posters that I'm going to ship. So I'm going to ship. I was designing a poster this morning and I'm going to ship it to people's houses, and it'll be a poster that you might want to actually put on your wall, you know? Awesome. So it'll be like a little 8.5 by 11 poster. So I can reproduce a bunch of them. And so I'm going to send those out to the VIP clients to like post about. They will be for free that night, so everyone can have a poster. And then I'm going to have some other stuff that's free that night that you can just come, like there will be free gifts. I'm working on the liquor license for doing free drinks, which would be fun.
You're thought of it all. This is awesome.
It's going to be very cool. I'm working on I'm trying to figure out for entertainment, like music. So that's like the next few weeks. It's on, like I said, and doing a big thing on Black Friday. Because last year for Black Friday, I had a great sale. I did buy 2, get 1 free. That always does well with me. That's always when I get the most sales. Yeah. I did one for Black Friday and then one for I love doing it for Women's History Month and saying all my female paintings are on sale. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's everyone but Harry Styles and Louis Armstrong. That's the only boys. These are the only men I know. Like,
yeah,
right.
Louis Armstrong.
These are the only
Harry
men that matter to
Styles.
me at this point.
Right.
So it's like really so few men. So I'm like, the bar is like on the floor for Women's History Month for me, you know, like it's all women. But yeah, so I'm going to have special prices. So if you wanted to come and be like, okay, this is what I'm getting my dad, this is what I'm getting my mom, this is what I'm getting my aunt, this is what I'm getting my cousin, you can get like everything for your family in one night. And for the first time, all the prints are going to be ready the day of the launch. Cause I always end up scrambling for launches. I've been listening to like the Jenna Kutcher podcast. I don't know if y'all listen to her much.
Yeah.
I love her. And she was talking about, she was like, give yourself 3 months for a launch. And I was like 6. So this has been like being planned for months. And I had the opportunity to do this new location. And so the plan kind of changed, but I still have over a month, but I'm really excited.
Yeah. And
it's going to be a cool night. And it's really important to get out there post COVID because so many people are ready to live their lives not online. Absolutely. That just doing things online kind of doesn't cut it anymore for getting out there. And I definitely didn't take advantage of Instagram during lockdown the way that I know both of y'all were like grinding and working so hard. I was grinding and working hard on like my preliminary. It was like a pre-intermediate accounting. I don't know. It was some accounting class I was working constantly on because it got harder during COVID. Girl, and so I put it off and I just wish I hear you talk about accounting on the podcast every Monday. And I'm like, whew, it couldn't be me anymore. No, I do love accounting. Actually, that's my one regret of college is not majoring in accounting. I really liked it, but don't really miss it as much.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I understood. By the end of the class, I was like, actually like this, but don't want to have to do my second accounting class.
I feel like the thing about math is that like once you figure it out, you're like, I am actually so smart because like there's a solution. You're like, I've got it. And then it's over.
And it's something that like I never realized how many hats I need to wear for my business until I started this. Yeah. I thought if I was just picking the printing and doing the prints and cutting the prints, I was like, killing it on doing everything for myself. And now that I'm here, I'm like, I am my own PR. I'm my own real estate agent. I am my own marketing department. Yes. I run the emails. I was cracking up. I always use like Cora B Gallery. We're so excited. I'm like, it's me and my free servant, my mom, she really loves painting. So she paints the flat like color of the background and she will tell you I painted that. And like, so she did the plain yellow, like, and she's like, it's my work.
She's like, I'm so proud of my work. I love that. But
so that's the we.
Yeah. I love the idea of like having an event. And I think what you've done really, really well that I commend you for is like, you know, the way that your products sell best. Like you said, like you realize markets, like getting to talk to people, people being able to like grab the prints with their hands and arrange them like, oh, this is how it's going to look on my wall, or that's how these look together.
Right.
And I think exactly. And I think you know that so well. And that's why like an event like that is so worth your time and money, because that's the kind of thing where people are going to get in there and see, especially like I've seen your pieces in person and I'm seeing them on Zoom right now and like doesn't even compare. Like seeing them in person,
right? That's the other thing with online.
They're shiny and the colors and everything. Yeah, and so I think it's super smart to think about marketing that way because, like, you know, not everybody would benefit from having a big old event, but definitely you would. So I think that's really
it's a lot of work, but it definitely is something now that like we're out of the like at least the deepness of COVID. Like people want to interact, they want to do things that they might have said no to 2 years ago and said I'm bored, and that's something like hopefully it won't change, you know what I mean? Hopefully we won't go back into anything harder, but now especially in South Louisiana, like different parts of the country have different rules going on right now and different like social mores that they are kind of navigating. Like I totally understand. I have one of my best friends is living in DC and it's like you wear a mask if you walk outside your front door, whereas here you might wear a mask. Some people are wearing masks.
You might wear a mask anywhere. Like you're not,
it's really just different. And so doing the markets, but the other part of the markets is you are sharing the clients with so many different other vendors. They are, they try to keep a consistent basis of only a certain amount of jewelers, a certain amount of ceramicists, a certain amount of like anything that could be out there. They try to keep it different. And I will say there's no one who's doing faces. So it's just me. So that's great.
Yeah.
There's one guy who does finger puppets. That's not really the same thing.
No.
When I go to markets, like there's no one who's quite doing what I'm doing, but there are other like young female artists. And so also differentiating yourself and doing one where you plan it yourself is super stressful. I know like me and Katie planned one last Christmas with two of our other friends.
Yeah.
And they went really well, but we had to get the clientele there. And we basically just posted about it and it went pretty well because we all had different people we knew from the city come and want to support us and bring random people. And people knew they could come that day and look at the different options, not just online. So I've been planning this bigger one and starting this big marketing push for the next few weeks and finishing up the last of the paintings. And so hopefully it pays off of, you know, just getting my name out there and getting people talking about this thing Cora's doing. And they might think it sounds stupid, but I don't know. I think it'll go well.
Yeah, I think that's
sounds amazing.
I know, it really does. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited. So we planned, I think this episode's going to come out like 2 weeks before it or something, maybe the week of, I can't really remember actually, but I have a lot of things coming out that I'm planning on doing with bringing like different free little miniature prints out to locations in the back. It's going to have the information. Like I said, I'm going to have like a event poster that I'm going to send out for free to people. So hopefully, I mean, like, I know the biggest thing is like when someone sends you stuff, like I try to be really cognizant. Like when I bought stickers from Alexis's Etsy and like the coffee, container from you, like putting it on your Instagram, like that 1 second little picture,
it helps. Like,
it's just like so important to like respect the time and effort that goes into even like shipping something out, because I mean, like we all are our own shippers. Like most of us
doing literally
people do drop
everything.
shipping, but most of us have to stop our day to go out and figure out which stickers someone ordered. Like even those little things that are like an $8 order takes time out of your day and is done completely by the artist. And almost, I mean, like no one else does my shipping. So if there's something wrong, HR is contacting HR, which is me, is contacting me to tell me I messed up.
Yep, exactly.
So it's kind of, that's the way of the project, but it's really fun.
We have a
visitor. That's amazing. Something that I've been like thinking,
she is so bored.
Something that I've
sorry.
That I've been thinking while you were talking is just like, I think overall I can see, and this is a compliment, but just like a confidence. And I think that is such a great like marketing tool in person and online, like just showing up with like a presence, whether that would be in the digital space or not.
Right. And that's so hard with your art because like it's so personal. Everything you put out there, you were proud to put it on Instagram. So like I kind of made a post about this, like, but you know, when I put a painting up and I get like 90 likes and I'm disappointed because it's a new painting, I thought about it, I posted it. That's like really hard for an artist, but it's still 90 people who sat there and liked it. And you don't untold amount of people who saw it and just don't like a lot of pictures. So it's hard to stay confident in your work, but that's one of also the good things about when you're creating new things all the time and getting excited about new things, whether it be like mugs or the new painting I'm going to put in this new place. You're proud of the ideas you have, and that's what like kind of keeps me going, because if not, it's really fatiguing to constantly be like putting yourself out there, not knowing how an event's going to go. I mean, each market is completely different. It has its own set of challenges. I mean, one time we got out there and it was a torrential downpour and I was like, I'm never doing one again. Never. I'm online from now on. I'm going to be the artist formerly known as Cora B Gallery is what I was going to be. But I was like, you know what? I really need to like kind of man up, and this is one bad market. Check the weather next time and figure out the right thing to do, because it's like you have to be confident in your work and it's hard, but you have to make stuff you're proud of or you're never going to talk about it and post about it. But one of the things that keeps like confidence up for me definitely is like innovating, like always something new and different to be able to talk about and new exciting things. Cause I'm very like organized brain, but I love creative thinking, if that makes sense, which are just, they seem very different, but like I love the organization of planning and hitting milestones and like making the project and, you know, checking off the boxes in my head of this is what the series. Yeah. Like I love tracking things, hitting my goals, keeping things in order, having processes that I follow through on with each client to make sure they're satisfied. But I also love those moments of just like inspiration of when it all comes together. Like last week or it was a few weeks ago, I just decided I was going to add share to the list. I had thought I'd picked a picture and then I said, I don't think anyone really cares about share anymore. And then the Shawn Mendes thing of it's giving share went viral. Yeah. And I painted it in a day. I was like, it's happening. I have to. And I started painting it without the background. And then I had a packet of, I'll pull it down, these jewels with like these colors. And it just inspired me. And like that moment, I was like, light yellow with these jewels is so share. Like it's just fun and different and bright. I heard that Alexis really likes share.
Alexis has a share version. We were in the car.
Yeah, I heard.
I'm not doing it.
We were in the car this when I was visiting. So I was visiting Alexis and she was like, do you want to hear my share impression? I was like, what? I guess.
Yeah.
Can you do it just a little?
No.
She'll only do it if a song's
That's
playing.
Disappointing.
Maybe one day.
Yeah, I can only do it if the song's playing, and definitely not while it is being recorded. Absolutely not.
I'm just having an insane moment with my dog, you guys. I apologize. Sit.
It's okay.
It's totally fine.
He's actually so. But we should probably hit the random questions, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Before my dog breaks down my door. Okay. So the first one is favorite art piece you've ever made. Cora, I know you have yours sitting next to you.
Yeah, I actually pulled it out because they mentioned it before. And I made one last week that I didn't put on the wall because it's not very like bright and poppy the way most of mine are, but it has been my favorite one. I did a Johnny Cash because my dad requested it. And it's really cool. Like he's really close to y'all I know. And I don't promote smoking, but the cigarette is very, me and my parents keep joking about it. We're like, does the cigarette make him look cooler? It does.
Yeah, sadly.
Because we almost took it out because I don't approve of cigarettes. But it just came out cool. And like, I've gotten really into, I've always drawn like women, like I said. And so doing a guy that comes out,
it's a little different.
And the like fine lines and wrinkles and the different, just like little brush strokes just made me really proud. The Billie Eilish was my other favorite. She has this like peachy mauvey like natural new look to all of her styles because I had done a Billie Eilish before and it was like a good seller, but it wasn't like a top seller, and it was the green and the black and it wasn't really my style, but I loved Billie Eilish and I did it for my little sister and I presented it like it was on sale and then I said sold. It was given to my sister. But the new style she has these like really saturated like beautiful colors in it. So these are like my two favorites right now. And it's got like the peach beautiful. And the pink. Yeah. And like the wistful look. So both of these I left no designs on the backgrounds. There's nothing on my wall anymore. I left the designs in the backgrounds plain because after I finished it, I was like, I can't add. This is perfect right now. Yeah. So those are like my two favorites at the moment. But I don't know. Everyone that I do, when I get in like the zone and a painting comes out perfect the first time, it just feels so good. Like some paintings are just like that. Like the Beatles took me forever. The colors were, some of the paints weren't like really opaque, you know, they were like really transparent. So I had to layer them a bunch and each of their faces, the pictures were so old that it was hard to get details. Yeah. They drove me a little nuts, but I love the Beatles. So I was like, I'm not quitting at this point too. I'm too deep in. Right. But then like the Olivia Rodrigo, I did the whole portrait in like 2 hours. Like it went so fast. And so I just like when I'm in that, any painting that comes out easily too. And I'm in the groove, totally. I like more because it's a really nice feeling.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Exactly.
Alexis, what's your favorite?
I would say the one behind me, but if you go to my Instagram from like a while ago, I repainted it. I kind of hated this painting before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
I never noticed that.
Yeah,
because I guess y'all started filming with it behind you like recently.
Yeah, it's always been the same one. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it's always been
So
the same one,
remember
but
it.
no. But it was like much darker, and it was for a final in college for one of my painting classes, and I intended for it to end up looking more like this, but then I ran out of time because it was like I was doing it like layer by layer, and it was like took
I can
so
tell
long.
that thing looks like one of those paintings where if they x-rayed it, it'd be like an inch thick, you know?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I don't have any more time. Just have to like pretend that this was my intended thing. But then it was the end of the semester because it was my final. And so then I had to bring it home, and I was just like, whatever. And I just threw it up on my wall and was like, yeah. That was what it was supposed to be. And I would always look at it and be like, that's so ugly.
Yeah.
So I just ended up, and this is like nailed to my wall. So I ended up painting it on my wall.
And I did not know that. That's really funny.
And it was a really like fun experience. So yeah, I love this painting.
Love that.
Katie, what about you?
Y'all know I've only done like digital art. I mean, I painted this, but it's not.
I love that one.
I love that one actually, though.
Yeah, it's literally the only thing I've ever painted. Well, that's a lie, but it's the only thing that's ever made it anywhere that I painted. But my favorite thing I've done digitally is my Ditch Your Comfort Zone one. I don't know. It's just like
I love that one.
Fun.
I loved when you were doing the like newsprint style.
I know.
Like
I loved when I was doing any
glitter
style,
motif.
guys. I've just been like losing my mind recently, just like trying to get my grad degree and have my job. But yeah, that was definitely
it's hard. Like motivation can be hard because I like painting when I'm in the creative zone.
Yeah.
And so when I'm not, I don't force painting.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Like I can force like getting my prints together, editing photos, taking photos. I can force like doing my accounting stuff. But like you cannot force painting. Like if I'm in a bad mood, I just start cleaning or something. Because maybe it'll be like, if you stop cleaning, you can start painting, but you can't force like that creative mindset. And so like, I know both of y'all have talked like a lot on this podcast, like really inspiring about like coming out of those slumps and getting back into them. Like, you know, that's the life of an artist. Like normal people don't really, cause it's so personal. Like I said, everything you create is like putting a little bit of yourself out into the world for judgment all the time.
Yeah.
Normal careers don't do that. Normal careers don't judge the like excellence that you did this project with or this research with. And like, that's definitely something I've come to realize.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's a super public way to express yourself. And so I definitely say, wait until you're ready. And then when you feel good, ride that wave. Cause that's what I do. Like today when I was meeting with the owner of the place that I'm going to, I was like, we were talking about, I was going to do 3 pieces for her place to be on sale. And then I was like, wait, that spot is perfect for a 48 by 60 painting, which is massive. Like it's taller than me, like it's larger than me. And I was like, I think I have one at home. I'll go home and paint it. And she was like, when is it? When? And I was like, I'll go home and paint it now. I will. If it's at home, I'm going home and I'm pulling out a bottle of paint because I was like, I want it up. Like, I have an idea of doing this huge food.
That's such a nice feeling to like have that.
Yeah. And I was like, if it is at my house, that's what I'm doing.
It is over for the canvas. I
was like, I'm riding the high. I don't care. Cause it's not like I didn't have anything on my list until this interview. And then I'm going back to painting afterward. Cause that's the day. That's my days. And I was like, if the canvas is at my house, I'm doing it. But I went and looked and the canvas I was thinking of is 48 by 36.
Oh no.
And I want bigger. So I was like, no, we're going to Michael's tomorrow.
Oh my God.
I have a 20% off coupon they emailed me. I just need someone with a truck because my car will not fit this size canvas.
Yeah.
And it's going down in time, but it'll be up for like November 6th. But
exciting.
If it had been here today, I would have been like knee deep in the paint. Like
I love that. Okay. So then of course, because you paint a lot of celebrities and people that inspire you, our last random question is, who's your favorite celebrity right now? So Cora, you can start us off.
Okay. So who I've been wanting to paint really bad is Meryl Streep.
Ooh,
but I'm like, is it just me who would want that up on the wall?
Well, I know Hayden would.
I would want that.
Because a lot of times I'll just do my favorites. Like I did the Dolly in my first set of paintings because I love Dolly Parton. I've always loved Dolly Parton. Two Doors Down was like my anthem.
Yeah.
For years, like my friends used to make fun of me because I'm like, it's a good song. And then Dolly got really, really popular in the past few years. And I'm like, it's still a good song. I'm not gatekeeping Dolly Parton. Everyone should love it.
Yes.
So I did that one, and I thought no one would care about it. And so I made it really small, and it's like one of my famous like most popular pieces. So I'm like, would the people feel the same way about Meryl Streep? Like if I did a Meryl Streep portrait,
I vote yes for the Meryl.
1,000%. I
because
love
there's
Meryl
like
Streep.
an Instagram I adore called like Meryl Streep collages, and literally just like once every few days they post one, and it's like Meryl Streep on like sitting on a macaroon. If she's wearing an orange dress, they put the macaroon in pink, and then the background's pink, and it's like fun and funky. Like every one of them is so fun, and I'm like, I want to be here. I want to live in this picture. They came out with keychains, and I was on the computer, and they sold out. I was like, I wanted them so bad.
I love that.
So, and that's part of the fun. Like my next series, I've been toying with what my next series should be, because I'm always like thinking of the next thing. That's like my greatest downfall and like my best quality is like the next series of what I should do. And I'm like going between like female icons and doing kind of a goddesses, like mythic kind of thing that would be really like imagery based more than like flowers in the background, because this person's favorite flower was this, like doing stuff that's like kind of like storytelling in the paintings.
Meaningful kind of.
Right, like Artemis with stags and I was a history major, and specifically I got like my double major in classics, and so like that was really what got me. Was I was seeing these pictures and I was like, that's what Artemis would look like. This would be so cool. And so I'm kind of toying with that idea. So I think it's going to come down to what I want to do for the next one. Because this one, it was all people I was inspired by, but it was definitely to like get different audiences interested in my work. But the next one, I think I might just go niche and do something.
Yeah, definitely. I think especially when you bring in like what you care about, it shows. So
right. And like that's why I'm like I've never really said no. I haven't had to say no, but there are people out there that I'm like, I would not want to paint them. And I haven't had to say no to anyone, because I think the clients who like my work, like agree with my like sensibilities, I guess. But there are people I'm like, this is a no list. Like I would just say I'm not comfortable, you know? So I'm like, the next thing, I think it's just going to come down to like what I'm interested in, but it might just be a Meryl Streep painting I do on my own. The other one my sister keeps begging me to do is Betty White, because she's like, the day she dies,
I love Betty White. Oh
your painting could go viral if she dies. And I'm
literally
like, Ella, that's really morbid.
It's really dark.
I'll add it to the list because it's really dark. But and I love Betty White. She's so funny. Her giant wine glasses are so kooky. Like, so those are like my two people I'm love, I adore. I'm going to cry when they die.
Yeah.
But who would want the painting? Like
I think there's a market. Alexis, who is your favorite celebrity right now?
Okay.
I'm
not answering
Can you give us like somebody else? Can you give us somebody else? I don't want what, why did I forget his name?
Dula Peep.
Why? No, no.
Send you
Why did I forget his name? I want to say Tom Holland. Yeah, it's not Tom Holland. We're not
Tom Felton, right? Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah. I'm obsessed with Tom Felton. He's old.
Oh yeah. If you've listened to one episode of the podcast, you've heard Tom Felton's name.
Yeah. The way I just forgot his name, Alexis is probably gonna like defriend me later. Anyway.
I send Katie my like his Instagram post. And she's like, I don't know why.
She's like deaf ears. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, why are you?
Okay, well, is that all you have, Alexis? Is that
yeah.
Great. Okay. Well, mine is also the predictable one. Only because my concert is in 1 week from today. Harry Styles, yes.
Yeah.
Where are you going to see him?
I'm going to see him in Atlanta the first night of the tour.
No way.
Yeah. I'm very excited.
Gosh, that's so exciting.
I know. Can't wait. Okay, Cora, do you want to go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you, your website, your Instagram, TikTok, all that good stuff?
Yeah. So my name on everything is Cora B Gallery. I had to change it because my last name's hard to spell. I used to be a whole different brand.
Yeah.
So It makes it really easy to search, not a lot of spelling, but corabgallery.com. You can always email me at artwork@Cora B Gallery for any like inquiries.
Mhm.
And then all of my socials are Cora B Gallery. So
Perfect.
it's really, I think Cora.b.gallery is actually all my socials because it looks nicer. But if you
Yep.
search Cora B Gallery, it comes up. And I have a code for when this launches for my new
Ooh.
series for
Mhm.
15% off. So if anyone saw a print or a piece that they're interested in for Christmas, you can use the code CYA15 for 15% off your purchase, which is super exciting.
Love that. And we'll have
Love it.
everything linked in the show notes for you guys to access. But thank you guys for listening. Be sure to leave us a rating and review on wherever you listen to your podcasts and subscribe to keep up with our weekly episodes.
And then follow us on TikTok at Check Your Aesthetic and over on Instagram at Check Your Aesthetic Podcast and our personal accounts, Katie Creative Co. and AlexisAdams.co and Cora B Gallery. And we will talk to you next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.